Lucid Motors have their quarterly report coming in the after hours of tonight, and I want to speak about it. I want to speak about what I personally am going to be looking for, and if I plan on adding to my position before earnings today, or if I plan on adding it tomorrow, depending on what happens for the long term. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we got a juicy Lucid Motors video for you all. We're actually going to be starting today's video off by going through just a few slides from what I think is important to look at from their first quarter report, the most up-to-date quarterly report. The kind of expectations that they had laid out for us. So we're going to be taking a look at the reservations, the potential sales, the number of employees, the deliveries that happened last quarter compared to deliveries that we expect by the end of the year. That way we can get a quite good idea of what we need to see from this quarterly report for it to be considered a success from an investor's standpoint. So really quickly, guys, could I ask you to hit that juicy like button, drop me a comment down below, subscribe if you're new around here. The support since getting back to these regular uploads has been sick. I have to say I really do appreciate all of you. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos. If there's any videos you'd like to see me make relatively soon, let me know in that comment section. So I don't want to spend too much time going through the first quarter earnings because obviously, you know, that's old news, but it's worth looking at them so that we can have an idea of what we should be looking towards. So the very first thing, which is extraordinarily important, is this sentence here. We remain confident in our ability to ramp production and scale our business. Okay, if I bring you over here, Lucid's 2022 guidance, their production volume is at 12,000 to 14,000 vehicles. And in my opinion, getting an update on this is going to be the single most important thing. I think this is what will make people react potentially more than anything else. Yes, if we see a really good delivery number, which I don't expect this quarter in all honesty, which we will get to, that would obviously be amazing. I think anything over 1,000 people would generally be quite happy with. We also want to see if there's more pre-orders, etc. But this here, this is what we need an update on, and this is what people, investors, are going to need to see. You know, guidance remain at 12 to 14,000. If that comes down, expect the stock price to come down, simply put. Everything else aside, I think this is what will move the stock's price. I'd like to see an update on this. Okay, this is obviously quite old, but they said last week we announced a landmark agreement for the government of Saudi Arabia to purchase up to 100,000 vehicles over a 10-year period. We'll expand on that in just a moment. But an update on this, okay? This isn't going to be happening anytime particularly soon. I believe Q3 2023 is when this is going to begin, or the latest that this will begin. But maybe we'll get another update like this. Maybe there's a piece of news in the pipeline in regards to orders or pre-orders, whatever it is. And the key statistics for the year to date as of March 31st. Lucid Air customer deliveries, 360. So again, I think people are going to want to see this go up to an absolute minimum of 1,000, if not see 1,000 added on top of that. Is that going to happen? I think that is just a complete gamble. I don't really think anybody can accurately tell you. I think Q3 and Q4, we are easily going to see that number smashed. But this quarter, I don't know what I think. Reservations sitting at 30,000 plus. I believe a lot of people will want to see that number up 4 to 5,000. And we're actually going to be taking a look at an article from a bullish buyer who has a similar thesis. Potential sales sitting at 2.9 billion. Installed annual production capacity at 34,000. This is going to be going up relatively close to 100,000 in no time whatsoever, all going according to plan. Studios and service centers at 24. Number of employees at 4,700 plus. Cash on hand at 5.4 billion, which is very important. They still believe that's enough to get them through 2023, I believe. And capital expenditures down at 185 million. So they were the key statistics and a couple of things from Q1, okay? Now just remember that contract we spoke about a second ago. They signed that contract with the Saudi Arabia. They've undertaken to purchase up to 100,000 vehicles. Initial commitment is to purchase 50,000 vehicles. So already that is agreed on, with an option to purchase up to an additional 50,000. I mean, this is the kind of thing that if we see contracts like this coming out on a monthly or even quarterly basis with Lucid, reservations go through the roof, pre-orders go through the roof, potential revenue goes through the roof, and therefore, you know, our earnings multiples go through the roof and our stock price begin to go back up. So again, we're looking to see them keep up with that production volume in the realms of 12,000 to 40,000 vehicles. We don't want to see that come down. Cash sufficient liquidity well into 2023. Capital expenditures approximately 2 billion this year, considering how low the Q1 ones were. Yeah, quite nice. And product updates. Now, an article here from the Asian investor over on Seeking Alpha. Lucid speculative buy before earnings. A couple of things I'd like to speak about in this article that they brought up, okay? So Lucid Air reservations expectations for Q2 2022. Based off 34 to 35,000 reservations, so assuming that we get an update that there's been another 4 to 5,000 reservations, calculates a total estimated order value between $3.3 and $3.4 billion, assuming an average purchase price of $97,000. Have to keep in mind that Lucid raised vehicle prices very recently as well. compared to May when the estimated order book value was 2.9 billion. So again, huge order book increase if we do see this happen. Investors could see a growth rate of 14 to 70% in Lucid's revenue potential. Just there, just like that, if we do see a nice update in reservations. What will be interesting to see, and management may provide additional insight into this, is how inflation is affecting customers' purchasing behavior of high-priced electric vehicles. So, one of the things that people have always brought up against Lucid as an investment is the expense, how much the vehicles cost. When there's so many cheaper alternatives out there, when Tesla's getting cheaper and cheaper, etc., etc. Now we're in this period of insane inflation, and this is a luxury brand. How is it going to affect them? And I too want an update on this. Lucid itself raised vehicle prices, depending on model, between $10,000 to $15,000 in June 2022. And a higher sticker price could negatively impact Lucid's reservation growth going forwards. Important to keep that in mind. It's not going to particularly affect this quarter. You will see right here why. Lucid's price increase went into effect on June 1st. The second quarter includes only 1 month of the higher vehicle prices. But the next 2, it could affect quite a bit more. But also one thing that could make this a potential, swing trade around earnings is the fact that Lucid gave interested customers a heads up about the price increase. So many buyers likely pulled their reservation forward to benefit from the lower prices. So maybe we are going to see inflated reservations, which could lead to an inflated stock price, at least in the short term. The big question will be if investors can trust Lucid's full year production target of 12 to 14,000 electric vehicles. And that's the thing with these electric vehicle stocks, my friend. With pretty much all of them, we see misses everywhere when it comes to production targets. Sometimes in the early life cycle, we see horrific misses, or we see insane beats. We spoke about NIO only yesterday, and their production even still is a little bit all over the place. Their sales are a little bit all over the place. Tesla has been doing fantastically, but again, it's not linear whatsoever. There are good and bad quarters, so it's really, really difficult to know if we can trust what Lucid is telling us. But that's why we need these earnings reports. We need these updates from management. We need to be kept, in the loop. We need to know what's happening. Given the fact that they already downgraded the manufacturing target from 20,000 to this range, we can't really see that happen every single quarter, or else investors are going to get fed up very, very quickly. When we take a look at what the analysts have been saying, there are some very mixed bags in here. I mean, Adam Jonas, I don't think most people will pay attention to with his very low one here. BTIG have an initiated coverage back here at $14. And then we see some guys $60, $36, $38 outperformed neutrals. There's not really as many analysts covering these guys as there are a lot of the other EV players, so it's hard to get a very accurate representation of what they have to think. Overall, it's just a mixed bag though from what we can see. Now, if we take a look at the stock chart, here is another reason why a swing could be both very good and very dangerous. We have this area right here, pretty much a short-term area of support, right around $16 a share. You could argue it should be up a little bit higher at $16.33 or even a little bit lower at $15.50ish, but you get the picture. It's somewhere in this realm. And then again, there's been this short-term area of resistance right at around $20.30 a share. Now, given the fact that yesterday Lucid saw a 6+% move, would lead you to believe that there is some confidence in this company going into this earnings report. And it would also lead you to believe that if they can break through this 1973 area, they should realistically be able to break into the 22s at an absolute minimum, representing a 10+ upside to the swing if things go as expected. With that being said, if things don't go as expected, you could very easily see them fall all the way back down, not necessarily straight away to this short-term area of support, but over a few days of people selling off or trimming their positions, if not closer to $17 a share. Quite easily could be a 10% move either way, depending on how things go. And nobody knows how this is going to go until it happens, my friends. Me personally, if I was going to be adding to my position for the long term, I'm going to be waiting to see what actually happens in the earnings report. I would rather, see some good news, see upgraded reservations, see them keep that production at 12 to 14,000 and buy the stock at $20 a share, then, take a risk, buy them at 20 and see it come all the way down to 15.50. Okay? That's what I would personally be doing with this stock right now, and that is potentially what I will be doing. It's nice to be risk-free in a company that is volatile, I can tell you that much, but I will not say that I will not buy Lucid again. I can tell you that much for free. If I like the prices and if I like what the company's doing, I can definitely add to my position. So what are you guys going to do with Lucid going into this quarterly report? You're just going to sit on the shares you already own? I bet a lot of people watching this video obviously do have positions in them. I wonder how many of you guys watch this video till the end and also bought with me the very first day, Not even when Lucid went public, when it was a rumor that they were going to be brought public via a SPAC. Those were the days, man. Who remembers the excitement back in those days? A lot of good times, baby. But yeah, that's when we bought ours. We rode it all the way up, sold some shares, went through all of this. Oh man, this has been a roller coaster more than nearly any other stock, I tell you guys. I think this chart here just encompasses a lot of what 2020 was to a lot of us investors. But they would be my plans, and more importantly, plans aside, buying, selling, guessing what's going to happen aside, that's what I would be looking for. The facts and figures I will be looking for in this quarterly report. And hopefully management will have some good commentary for us. They generally do. They generally keep us investors, you know, very enticed. They keep us very up to date with what is actually happening. So hopefully this quarter will be, you know, very much so the same, because since the last earnings report, it's just been consolidation. I would really enjoy seeing some really positive news, giving people something to be excited about, and let us ride that back up a little bit. But anyway, my friends, if you watched this video all the way till the end, you are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. But I please ask you, hit that juicy like button. It genuinely helps me out so much. And again, just since getting back to the videos, it's just awesome to see. You know, I love seeing the likes, the comments, the subscribers. I love just communicating with you guys again, so I appreciate you all. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'm going to see you for another video very, very soon. Peace.